Coverage coming your way is presented by EA Sports and the PGA Tour. Frank, you've competed here on so many occasions. What's the magic of the old course?
Just the history, the fact that this golf course has evolved. We still really don't even know the original designer of the golf course. I think it's just sort of evolved through time. Originally it was 22 holes reduced to 18. The fact that when you look at the scorecard, you play 9 holes out, then you turn around in the loop and come back in. If you even time the tide right, you can play 18 holes with the wind behind your back. But the double greens, there's 7 double greens, and each double green adds up to 18. For example, if you're on the 3rd, it's adjacent to the 15th. And then you realize you're playing inside like a museum of the game.
Frank, this is one of the coolest opening tee shots in all of golf, isn't it?
It is. The whole golf course sits in front of you. Out of bounds on the right, and believe it or not, there's out of bounds on the left. That's the right side of the 18th hole. You'd think it's the widest fairway in the world, but many a player has stood on that first tee and whipped one out of bounds.
And you're teeing off with people watching from the street. Sometimes they're actually looking out of their hotel rooms and peering in.
Yeah, or simply walking across the fairway.
Frank, on the second shot here at this first hole, a player will get a good sense of the winds here and how they can play a role at the old course.
And they'll also get a good sense of exactly how punishing this golf course can be, and with such the smallest things. For example, that burn is only about 3 or 4 yards across, and yet it is punishing to say the least.
On the green, and a chance for birdie here on the first hole. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. Beautiful stroke right there. Finds the bottom of the cup with ease. Here we are now at the second. Always so important to try and establish a good round in these opening holes, Frank.
In the second hole, especially with a prevailing breeze and today's modern equipment, the odd player has actually driven this green, but you really see the tone of the golf course. The middle of the golf course is protected. There's a series of bunkers down there, but the left is always the safe side of the golf course, because the best line to play your second shot from on the whole golf course is always the right side, and we see that here at the second.
Second shot, good look at the green. On the green, and a chance for birdie. Frank, this would be a nice way to jumpstart the round.
Yeah, his momentum can quickly go in the right direction if he makes this.
Frank, he might like this one. He might.
Oh, Rich, that was a huge putt. You don't expect to make them from that distance.
At the third hole now, Frank, it looks relatively easy, but you know there's some danger lurking somewhere out there on the old course.
There is. There's the pot bunkers down the right side. This is a tee where really you want to have an idea where that wind is coming from. If it's into your face, you might want to be a little cautious and go towards the middle of the golf course. But if it's behind you, well, then it's worth challenging that right side.
And that one was struck solid, about 290. Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special. Should be safely on deck.
That is an excellent play right there. The approach, giving him another good look.
Well, Rich, if he can make this one, add it to that string of birdies.
Generating some momentum now. Well done. Another birdie, and now 3 under par. At the fourth hole now, and Frank, this one looks as though it might require a little bit of club selection off the tee. What are we looking at, partner?
Well, there is 2 ways to play the fourth off the tee. You can hit it down the right side, but it really starts to narrow up and it's slightly shorter. Most players go towards the middle of the golf course and try and get it on that plateau. But this, certainly the first hard hole you see at St. Andrews.
Excellent drive, Frank, right where you want to be. To where the hole is cut, just about 190 yards, Frank. He's knocked it on the green, but not in a great position. This is a difficult chance coming up here. Long birdie try. Frank, I'm not saying he should pull out driver here, but this is a long putt.
Greens are fast, though. You never know. Good line, good pace. Might have a chance.
Speed wasn't bad on that long putt, but the read wasn't very good. Settles in over the putt. Well, Frank, he'll drop at least one shot here. That was not his best effort.
No, poor is the easiest way to put that. He knows it.
Just a little tap in here. Well, it was bound to come to an end at some point. Drops just one shot after that terrific stretch of birdies. Chance here at the par 5 fifth, Frank, to make a little move early in the round.
Yeah, it's certainly eagles galore. The fifth hole is one of the biggest greens on the golf course, shared with the 13th. So good tee shot, and you have a nice big target, even though it's a blind second shot coming up.
That one is in the fairway, down there about 290 yards. Second from an excellent lie. Settles in, looking to knock it in tight.
Rich, I remember when I first played the old course, it was a Dunhill Cup. It was a team event. It was 3 players from each country around the world. And my teammates were Stuart Ginn and Bob Charles, who'd won the Open Championship. And I remember pestering Bob Charles all the way around the golf course, the old course. Where do I aim? Do I get away from a bunker? And at the time, I thought he was a bit of a curmudgeon, really. Because the only thing he told me was not to hit it inside the TV tower on 17. And then I realized he gave me the greatest golf lesson I ever had. Because he was telling me to play the golf course the way I felt I should. A lesson well learned. Play your own game.
Play with your instincts, especially at a place like the old course at St. Andrews, where you don't necessarily play by the book. I don't know that there is a book to get you around St. Andrews, except the best book of all, and that's the one of experience. Just a couple of feet. Holding steady now at 2 under par. Now at the 6th, not a particularly long hole, Frank, par 4.
Yeah, semi-blind tee shot. You've got an idea where you want to hit, but there's a series of 3 bunkers. They're called the coffins down the left side, as well as some pop bunkers down the right. So this requires a very accurate tee shot.
Frank, that golf ball's sitting up like a red velvet cake in a bakery. It looks pretty, doesn't it?
Time to take a bite of it. Savor it. Hit the next one close.
Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
No problems there. Really good approach shot. And now, good look at birdie. Looking to make a move. This putt for birdie. Oh, what a putt from long distance, bottom of the barrel. Back here at the Open Championship on the 7th hole here at the Old Course.
Yeah, blind tee shot. This is one hole that really does advantage the long hitter. They can get it very close to this green, but this green has got some amazing undulations in it. Oh, that's it. New member of the 300-yard club.
Good poke right there. Setting up for the approach, this player in total command.
Yeah, it's beautiful. The decision-making, club selection has been spot on, but the execution, the swing, is really what I'm admiring right now.
Birdie try up next.
It's no snack, though.
So close.
And yet it still counts for another shot.
And getting ready for the putt. That's a nice confidence builder right there. You make those for par, and you keep things steady. Now to the par 3-8. Frank, what's the best way to go at it?
Well, for these players, straight at the flag. This is the first par 3 you'll see, and a good chance to make 2 coming up ahead. But we do see a lot of long putts here with an errant tee shot. Well, this is not heading in the right direction.
Well, it looks like it's going to be in the rough. That will be a great look at birdie. Not a gimme, but well within his range. Wow, rolling the ball beautifully, makes birdie again.
Yeah, that pace, that roll, it's always getting to the hole, and it's the perfect, what we call the perfect holding speed. It uses all 4 1/4 inches of the cup.
Like the looks of this one.
Oh, yeah.
Frank couldn't ask for anything more.
Just the lie there, too. It is sitting up like it's teed up.
Chance to set himself up for a good scoring opportunity with his second shot here. Should be pretty good right there. On the safe side. Ooh, nice play right there. That's in pretty close. This is a 9-footer. Oh, man.
I just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. Lining this one up for par. 4 under on the day. So we're getting set now for the second 9 here at the Old Course at St. Andrews. And Frank, a chance to get off to a good start here with the short par 4 10th.
Yeah, it's a very subtle hole. It just looks straight ahead in front of you, but there is gorse down the left if you stray, especially into a head breeze. But really, it's drivable for most of the players. Just got to worry about those 2 bunkers. There's sort of short right of the green. If you finish up there, then this hole becomes a little more difficult.
Chance to get it close here. This is just a superb performance. Great round to this point, Frank, and you can really see that reflected in his mood today.
Yeah, it just looks too easy. Swinging the club beautifully. Ball's going exactly where he wants it to. He's not trying to take too many risks. So consequently, he's getting birdie opportunity after birdie opportunity. It's that sneaky distance.
Oh, I thought he had that. Good try, just didn't quite read the break, Frank.
It shouldn't be a problem, you'd think, cleaning up here for par.
This one just requires a little bit of focus. Showing no signs of weakness. That's a good putt right there. Stays at 4 under. Frank, number 11, the Eden, is really one of the more fascinating holes in all of golf.
Yeah, the two bunkers that the players normally worry about, Strath bunker in the front and the Hill bunker to the left. What makes those two bunkers so difficult is the steepness of the faces in them.
Early part of this second nine, a good approach shot, and now pretty good chance for birdie.
No, that's a shot gone forever.
Good effort, good par putt. Now at the 12th, and Frank, when you put the peg in the ground here, are you licking your chops?
Well, you are, unless you're playing into a head breeze, because if you are playing a head breeze, then you've got to worry about the 4 bunkers that are in the middle of this fairway. Touch of help, or if you're a long hitter, then all you've got to do is worry about that little pot bunker just short of this green. There is gorse left and right, though.
Not quite what he was hoping for, the tee shot in the bunker. All right, so greenside bunker, what's he looking to do with this shot, Frank?
Well, really you have to look at the amount of green you got to play with. You don't have to try and fly the ball right by the flag. Allow it to run. Plus, if you can get it to run like a putt, you never know, it might just go in.
Starting to move in the right direction. 5 under after that made putt. Here at the par 4, 13th hole at the old course. Frank, what's the best play, power, or do you go with precision?
Well, you'd like a nice mixture of both there, Rich. If you can take those coffins out of play, that's the name for those series of bunkers sort of down the middle, then obviously you've got a much shorter shot coming in, and then you've got a chance to actually have a full view of this green. Tom Weiskopf was one of my idols growing up. I loved the way he swung. That swing right there reminds me of my idol.
It looks like Rory McIlroy, Frank, sticking the follow-through. Good lie in the fairway. A good chance to make something happen here. On the green and looking at a birdie opportunity. And it's a long way to the hole from here. Never easy. Kind of a tricky read. Getting set now over the putt. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Frank, what's the strategy here at the 14th?
If you can't go for this par 5 and 2, Rich, there is another option where you can go left. And I mean left of left. That's down the 4th fairway. That's across the Elysian Fields, as they call it, which is a set of sort of hummocks that run down the middle. And you can find a flat lie there and come across at about a 45-degree angle for your 3rd shot to 14.
That one is in the fairway, down there about 290 yards. And from the fairway for his 2nd shot here. Frank, I think that's going in the bunker.
Looks like it.
Not missing by much today, but enough to again be in the bunker. Getting set for his 3rd shot from the fairway bunker. What's the right way to play this, Frank?
Well, you don't want to get the ball too far back in your stance. Gets too far back, then you mightn't carry the lip in front.
Frank, not where he wants to be, but not out of the hole here at the par 5.
No, but Rich, to drop a shot here would really set him backwards.
Frank, you like his chances to walk away with a par here?
Well, with a good shot, Rich, yeah, that's certainly on the cards in that. And you think you just write a par down at the end of the hole, don't tell anyone about it. It certainly won't affect the scorecard at the end of the day. So that's the goal right here.
Okay, good shot on the dance floor. This is a 22-foot putt. And he has it, Frank.
I don't believe it.
Time to tee it up here at the 15th as we begin the closing stretch here at the Open Championship of the Old Course at St. Andrews.
There's a big steeple in the distance, so even when it starts to fog in a bit, if you can keep your eye on that, that's a good line off the tee. And you've got to keep it, your tee shot just short of this sort of heather, big crop of heather down the left side. It still leaves you a lengthy second shot, but really that's the safest way to try and play this par 4 15th. Very good par 4.
To where the hole is cut, just about 190 yards, Frank.
This looks like it's going to find the target.
He's making the game look very simple right now. See it, hit it, and he's got it right on track. And getting ready for the putt.
Just a fraction too aggressive. Remember, line and speed go together.
Sometimes you want that birdie so badly, and all of a sudden you're faced with a lot of work, more work than you had hoped for, just to make the par. Headed for home now, partner. The 16th hole, and what are we looking at here?
Well, you have to avoid the principal's nose. Otherwise, you're going to finish up in the principal's office.
Frank, not the longest hitter, but sometimes you win tournaments by putting it in a good spot, and that's where we are right here, 280 yards out.
Yeah, 280 down the middle of the fairway. That'll never get you in trouble.
Well, that's how you play the game right there. Knock it on the green and give yourself a good look at birdie. Could really use this one. It's for birdie. Well, Frank, it's our job to get excited.
You can't when you leave it short, though.
I'm sad.
He's making my job hard.
We're just playing a nice round of golf. Has that one for par, and now at 5 under par. Frank, the 17th hole, you can get room service along the way here?
You can. If you flare one right there, you'll also pay a penalty for out of bounds. And so that hamburger better taste good, better be worth it. Little left of that, little left of the out of bounds, and you're left with a second shot. It's fairly daunting because you have the road hole bunker to avoid and the road behind the green. Hence the name.
No fairway here. This one in that rough. Second shot from the rough. It's on the way. Not terrible, but not his best.
Yeah, outside chance really for birdie, but really it was a rather poor approach shot.
Long putt here. This will require a good touch. Always two components to the long lag putt, the speed, number one, and then the read, and missed out on that second part. You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point.
Oh, that even caught me by surprise, Rich. I thought par was in the bag.
This now for bogey. These putts keep the round together. That puts them at 4 under for the round. Frank, here at the 18th, so much history has been made through the years.
Yeah, one of my favorite memories, I remember Jack Nicklaus when he beat Doug Sanders in that playoff. The famous sort of short putt that Doug Sanders missed. But really, the great moment that stands out was Seve making that 15-footer across the hill in 1984 wearing the blue sweater. Not only did he win the Open Championship, but he beat a tremendous field that included Bernard Langer, Tom Watson, Fred Couples, Lanny Wadkins, Faldo, and Greg Norman. It was an amazing Open Championship.
And I loved that fist pump. It was pure Seve. All that fire, all that passion came flying out. And that's where you just sort of fell in love with the game. Just an incredible shot. That is a very makeable putt after a great approach. Well played. Right about 9 feet here to the hole. Frank, that looked good to me. Oh, man.
Just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. This for par. There you go, 68 for the day. Frank, I have to say, I've been impressed by the level of golf today. Really came out here with a solid game plan and executed.
And consequently, a very solid round. Continuing with that kind of play can certainly put you in the winner's seat.